Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be doing a deck profile on Cinderace. This is actually not the Cinderace from Sword and Shield base set. This is going to be the the Cinderace from Chilling Reign. Now, you might not know exactly what this one does. It has not seen nearly as much play as the Sword and Shield base set Cinderace, and even that one hasn't seen much play. So, this one definitely, you probably don't know what this one does. So I will explain to you. So this is the Cinderace I'm actually using. It had a pre-release promo. I'm using this one. For some reason, he's absolutely destroying the Score Bunny. I don't know why that is happening on the art, but this Cinderace has the ability Crisis Power. This Pokemon's attacks do an additional 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent's taken. And it's single strike, which means combined with the ability and having all these single strike buffs, you can add a lot of damage to the Cinderace. And then our attack, it's pretty vanilla. It's 1 fire, 1 colorless, 150, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon can attack. Now, this actually is kind of important that it does have a colorless in the attack because it means that we can use single strike energy. But other than that, that is going to be the Cinderace that we are building around. So we're going to have, we'll just hop right into the deck. We have the 4 copies of Cinderace. This is going to be a post-rotation build because we do use some cards from Evolving Skies. So if you want to add like Mew and make this a Pog Championship deck, then I think you can go ahead and do that. But this is going to be a Sword and Shield on build. So you guys, there might be kind of a glare, but those are the Cinderaces here. And we have 2 copies of the Reboots. Now, there are like 3 different Reboots. One of them is just bad. The other one has an attack that accelerates to itself. And the third one here is Single Strike. And they all have 90 HP. But we're choosing to play the Single Strike one because we have Tower of Darkness, and we want to have some extra things to discard with Tower of Darkness. So we're going to be playing the 2 copies of Reboots. For Score Bunnies, we're playing a 2-2 split. We're playing 2 of the 70 HP one and 2 of the Single Strike one. Now, the advantages and disadvantages, obviously, the reason we are actually playing the 70 HP one is because it has more HP. Because if I have something like an Inteleon Bench Snipe, which is, I think, the main reason. But also, the disadvantages of playing a 2-2 split of the Single Strike and the non-Single Strike one with more HP is that if you get a Single Strike energy in your opening hand, but you don't get the Single Strike Score Bunny, you actually can't attach that Single Strike energy and then have it stick. You're going to have to wait till you get a Single Strike Score Bunny down. This one also, it has less HP. It's Single Strike, but also the attack, 1 fire for 20 instead of 1 colorless for 10 and 2 energy for 20. So they both have their advantages and disadvantages, but I'm choosing to play a 2-2 split of them. We have 2 copies of Snow and Ice with Gourmandize. We actually want our opponents to take prizes, so our Cinderace can do more damage. And so we have a chance to play Raihan, which is the main card in the deck, which I will get to in a minute when we get to the supporters. But for now, to Snow and Ice, to Gourmandize into some cards. We have another couple draw consistency Pokemon. We have 1 copy of Jirachi Amazing Rare with Dreamy Revelation and 1 copy of Primate Wisdom Oranguru. Because we have these other Pokemon here. We have a 1/1 line of Altaria. This is not the blocking Altaria. This is actually the new Dragon Altaria from Evolving Skies that has the ability Luring Search. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, shuffle your deck, and then put the card that you chose on top of your deck. So it's kind of like Tapu Lele, but it's once every turn, but the supporter goes on top of your deck. So we can use this Altaria to get out a Raihan, which, like I just said, is the hardest of the deck. And then just either Dreaming Revelation or Primate Wisdom into it. Primate Wisdom can also be used for saving cards on the top of your deck if you want to research or something like that, stuff like Rare Candy. Moving into our supporters, the card I've been talking about this whole time, Raihan. This is a new card from the set, and it is a pretty good card. It's like a new Rosa. You can only play it if one of your Pokemon is knocked out during your opponent's last turn. You get to attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and then search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. So obviously this is really, really powerful combined with a deck that both has a pretty high damage output and a single strike. Actually, no, that has It's very nice combined with a deck that is only one price Pokemon, um, and can use that extra bit of acceleration. We're not playing a Houndoom, which means we don't have any acceleration except for Raihan. Raihan is the main way we're going to be accelerating onto our Cinderaces, but not only does it attach our energy to stream our attacks, but it can also search our deck for any one card within our hand. So if we need it, we can get out our energy. If we need it, we can get out our Red Candy, our Cinderace, or if we really need it, we can get something like a research for our next turn or something like that. But yeah, it's just a really nice both help you stream your Snape's Twos and just set up in general. And because we want our Pokemon to be knocked out um, by our opponent, it means so our Cinderace will do more damage with Crisis Power. It means that Raihan also gets kind of caught in that and can help us be used to set up. And that's another reason why Snorlax is so good, can glamorize both into that Raihan and can let you play that Raihan to both get your Cinderaces and make your Cinderace do more damage. Moving into our other supporters, we have 3 copies of Professor's Research. And then we have 1 copy of Bruno, so we're kind of playing the split of that. Bruno is Shuffle Draw, and Research is obviously Discard Draw. Now the main we're playing the split because Bruno, it's both Shuffle Draw, but it's also Single Strike. Means you can use Welcome and Lantern to get it back, and we can use Tower of Darkness to get extra cards if we need to. We have 1 copy of Karen's Conviction, which kind of is like a lot like the Crisis Power, but it's on a supporter. During this turn, your Single Strike Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage. Your opponent's add a Pokemon for each prize card your opponent's taken. So this will basically make your Crisis Power add 50. Now, sometimes we won't have the turn to play this. Some games we have to play Raihan every single turn for 4 turns. But, that's just how that's going to be. Usually you don't have to play Raihan every single turn for 4 turns. Usually you can take a turn, sit back, and attach some energies, and then go with the Karen's Conviction. But it is here if we want to use it, and it's easily searchable as well with our Altaria. And then our final supporter is 1 copy of Boss's Orders. If you want to bump this up, you can, but like I mentioned, a lot of the time you want to be playing consistency draw supporters instead of a boss. We got 2 copies of Tower of Darkness, which is a Stadium. Once during each player's turn, that player may draw 2 cards. In order to use this effect, that player must discard a Single Strike card from their hand. It is really weirdly worded, but basically, if you don't understand that, it is basically just discard Single Strike card from your hand and draw 2. So that's also why we're playing the split of the Score Bunnies, the Single Strike Boots instead of the one with the better attack, and we have these other Single Strike cards as well. And there's still more Single Strike cards. We still have a couple more Single Strike cards to go. So 2 copies of Tower of Darkness. You can really take advantage of that. 4 copies of Quick Ball shouldn't be of any surprise, as well as we have 4 copies of Evolution Incense. We have a decent amount of search outs. We have 4 Quick Balls, we have 2 Level Balls, and we have 2 Capture Energies, so we'd be able to get our Score Bunnies pretty consistently. And, and we have Tower of Darkness, so we really need to dig deeper on our first turn to find our Score Bunnies, but 4 copies of Quick Ball, 4 copies of Evolution Incense, and of course we're a Stage 2 deck, so we need to burn the 4 copies of Rare Candy. I'm not going to talk too much about these first 2, or the switches, because switches also fairly standard. Now, the Cinderace attack does say that you can't use it next turn. Usually you're going to get knocked out, but sometimes it does actually matter that the attack doesn't do straight 150. Sometimes you don't get knocked out, and you do need to double switch in order to attack with the Cinderace again. That's how it's going to be sometimes. So we're running 2 copies of Switch, as well as 2 copies of Air Balloon. With that, we can also stick these Air Balloons on our Jirachi Amazing Rare as well, and just give ourselves an extra couple cards every turn. 2 copies of Level Ball can search out a Pokemon 90 HP or less. It can search out a boot, which basically, if you have Tower of Darkness in play, Level Ball can just search out our boot, and you can just get 2 cards, which is really, really nice. But it can also search out Altaria and Swablu and Jirachi and Scorbunny. It searches out almost all of your Pokemon, which is really, really nice. It's a really good set of cards for playing. Copies of that. Then we have 2 copies of Ordinary Rod. Choose 1, shuffle up to 2 Pokemon from your discard pile to your deck, or shuffle up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile. So this mainly we're just using this to get that Pokemon, because for our energy we do have Raihan, but other than that, we're playing the 2 copies of Ordinary Rod. Then our last item card is going to be 1 copy of Welcoming Lantern. which is also a single strike card you get to put, and it says put a single strike supporter card from your discard pile back in your hand. So you can use this as either a second Bruno or a second Karen, or you can just use it, just get an extra couple cards with Tower of Darkness. For energies, we have 5 basic fire energies, and then 4 single strike energies, and then there are 2 capture energies, like I mentioned. So pretty standard energy count, I think. Go now. We can speed this more this way, because I never forget to start the deck profile like right here. But that's just how it's gonna be. So yeah, we're running pretty standard energy. 5 fire might be a little bit low, but I've had no problem with it. Also, if you attach energy to like your Jirachi, when your Pokemon gets knocked out, you can send up Jirachi during Revelation and then retreat it. Discard the energy to get energy in the discard pile, because sometimes it can be a little bit hard to get energy in the discard pile without Professor's research. So we can just use the Jirachi and like retreat Pokemon and stuff like that. Also, I just realized I forgot to mention Altari is free retreat, so that can give us a really nice pivot as well. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the deck. This deck is really fun. It's definitely a really, really good budget deck. Besides the Jirachi, I'm not sure how much Jirachi is. Last time I checked, it was like $20. I doubt it's $20 anymore. But yeah, pretty cheap budget deck. If you wanted to switch out the Jirachi, maybe for like one of the new news that lets you look at the top 6 and find an item card, that definitely wouldn't be bad. Hopefully that new is not going to be a whole lot of money to get this deck really, really cheap. But there's not a single holographic VGX, VMAX, V Union in this deck, which is going to make it really, really cheap. This just the pre-release Cinderace, which is probably the most blinged out version of Cinderace you can get. It's only $4, so really, really cheap deck. The reason I have some of these black and white random commons and uncommons is because I've only opened 2 real life Chilling Reign packs, so I only have 1 reboot. So if you were wondering, that's why I have that. And the reason I actually have some of these other cards from Chilling Reign is because I bought a whole bunch of Chilling Reign cards on pre-order that I knew I would play. So yeah, it's gonna be it for the video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I do a whole bunch of Pokemon trading card game deck profiles and deck lists, PCGO videos, stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys liked it, I'll see you guys in the next one.